Well, hello, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me on my event report about what happened at IBM Interconnect. Still going on this week in Las Vegas. Conference spans over 5 days from February 21st till February 25th, happening in Las Vegas across the Mandalay Bay and the MJ and Graham. So a big event where basically IBM has consolidated the former Interconnect, Pulse, and name escapes me right now, a Rational Developer Conference. So a very IT executive, IT admin, developer-focused conference, which was attended by over 25,000 attendees, which it makes it probably the biggest IBM conference out there. Not sure, but counting it much bigger than the previous one. So look for my other event report coverage, which has been there already about the first day and the VMware partnership. But let's look at the key takeaways of the event. And one which has not been highlighted that much in the keynote on Monday is basically about what IBM lumped together as something in the Connect area, the Connect moniker, it even says, I believe, in some of the press releases. And what basically IBM is realizing, like many other vendors out there too, is there so very little precious resource to build new modern applications in the cloud. On the flip side, it means if you have to go back and ask enterprise to rewrite all the systems which they have built already for cloud purpose, cloud usage, there's not going to be much time to build new things, new innovation, which was a welcome message. It was less about speeds and feeds and technology details, but it was more about how is the cloud, well, what Blaufman is very clear, how is the cloud enabler for running better and newer business models and business model change, which, as you know, Constellation, we're all about on looking at technology if it improves business best practices or creates new business models. So that's a very welcome good thing. But in order to get that, IBM has to leverage existing investments which customers have been doing with on-premise capabilities and connect them, hence the Connect moniker, with the cloud. And in total, it's 6 different areas which IBM has created and is creating in this very first version. Obviously, I can reuse in modern new applications in the cloud APIs which run on premises. The App Connect is there, which is a SaaS which allows me to out there. And out perspective, there's Message Connect, which allows me to connect the existing IBM messaging system, which might be running on premise in such a diverse system as mainframes, with the IBM Bluemix messaging service, where I might be building a new application. There's DataWorks capabilities to move data from on-premise to the cloud in a scalable way using Spark. There's the WebSphere Blockchain Connect, which is interesting because it's a blockchain offering. We had as one of the highlights of day one, which IBM is working closely with the open source capabilities with connects existing WebSphere installations with that blockchain capability running centrally in the cloud, but allowing to request blocks, request transactions, requesting IDs on on-premises capability. And then there's IBM ZOS Connect, which, guess what, allows you to make APIs and RESTful interfaces to what is happening or what capabilities you have in the mainframe, something we know already right now with IBM having so many customers in the financial service industry. It's going to be very popular with, obviously, the banks. So good move from IBM on that perspective. Always good to leverage existing investments. It wasn't 100% clear what all is available now and coming. I asked it in the question to the general manager in charge of the area, Mary Wieck, and she confirmed that its existing capabilities, like many of the things like DataWorks, as we mentioned before, many existing capabilities repackaged under the Connect initiative, most popular and proven already, for instance, the pattern capabilities, which outside WebSphere can make transportable code definition elements between on-premises and the cloud. But overall, I think very good, positive on the Connect side, because again, it leverages existing investments, existing capabilities to build more new things, which is what is the change, business shift to change is all about. Next one, highlight that with a separate blog post also, is definitely second major takeaway is around VMware. It's basically a match made between two people who had to speak to each other, ask VMware CEO Kurt Eschenbach and Robert LeBlanc, why didn't they do it earlier? What took them so long? They laughed about it. VMware always lacked the capability to have a global standard SLA data center-wise and never invest in these data centers for reasons you can read on my blog, my speculation questions around this to the executive teams over many, many years. Why this hasn't happened? Well, it hasn't happened anyway. And the only bare metal cloud out there basically is IBM. So to reposition all the new things VMware is built around software-defined data center, and to move things, they didn't confirm if they can move VMs seamlessly also to soft layer-based data centers. All that is available now, which is good for customers because now they have a standard global infrastructure to run information, both from performance perspective, from a scale perspective, from a data statutory perspective, and good for IBM because IBM is the only major player who doesn't have organic in-house load. Load is so important for our vendors because it creates the economies of scale, which are important to reduce the cost of ownership to operate a public cloud. And if that goes down, you can attract more and for that interesting synergetic partnership there. We'll see hopefully a number of parties screw it up anyway because it's really promising and something many of the CIOs and CTOs out there. And third thing, nothing really stick out, so I call it like a mixed bag. Let's start first of all. Apple had a big piece in the keynote, not maybe the best contribution to a keynote relevant to the audience, but Apple is Apple and they do what they think is right. But Swift capabilities as Apple's initiative for new developing applications, getting that server capabilities to execute code on the server is done by IBM. The server support means also cloud support. That is definitely a good area to watch. More things came also out to help developers to work both on premises and in the cloud. So a new GitHub partnership of IBM with Bluemix makes it easier to see what has been built and published in GitHub, both on premise and in the cloud. You see always this dichotomy with hybrid cloud being very strong. Both things run on premises and in the public cloud. Watson got some new APIs, tone, understanding in voice, like am I happy, am I tired? I'm tired now, it's after 11 p.m. What's emotional, what's the visual recommendation? Good moves to get to Watson. A little bit late in compared to what, for instance, Google has been offering, or what even Wipro as a system integrator has been offering with Homes, who have been doing this since quite some time, but better late than never. So good, more power to Watson and on Bluemix, where you can build these Watson applications. Then very interesting, a new development programming model offering, completely declarative, not really declarative, but easy to use around a rule framework called Whisk, not Whiskey, we joked about that at the reception, but Whisk, which allows you to build lightweight rules or lightweight code fragments around events happening. So it's an event-based architecture, newly built, which allows chaining of events to each other and even put code inserts into that. Supports containers and Docker support, of course, with Docker containers, and very importantly is polyglot, means supports multiple languages, not just Swift, obviously, with the IBM partnership, but also Node.js. And last but not least, Whisk has cognitive capabilities, so it can leverage Watson to make the right things in this rules exchange. It's probably the closest thing that IBM is offering right now compared to Amazon's Lambda, which is something dormant on all the storage server. In this case of IBM, you have to deploy it by yourself, but it has very similar qualities that you don't pay if it's not firing, it's not using, you only pay by the usage. So an interesting alternative, an interesting new approach. It has to, by definition, be more heterogeneous than what others offer on the IBM side. Then last but not least, almost object-based storage to the cloud. IBM, as you know, made, read on my blog, the takeaway, the CleverSafe acquisition, which gives more storage-based option, both on premises and the cloud. And object storage is very important to run next generation application scenarios, which leads me to the last part of the mixed bag. Is Siemens was on stage in the keynote. It's funny. It's always European companies which are referenced on stage for IoT. The reason is not surprising to a certain point. Most North American companies have given up their own manufacturing and focus on their innovation more on the demand side, to sell things. On the supply side, these are usually the high-quality, high-priced European manufacturers who are interested in finding a solution around IoT. And Siemens choose IBM because of Watson cognitive capabilities for their building technology IoT solution, which they're in the process of building. So good win for IBM, another European customer sharing their ITO ambitions, of something good to see in general. So my overall point of view, it was a good event for IBM. Partnerships are always important in ecosystems, and we have announced a number of these, the VMware one being the most important one. But then has done many things around the hybrid capabilities, especially personally built on the Connect offering. Asked in the Q&A to Robert LeBlanc and Mary Wieck, there's over 200, I think 230 million instances of WebSphere. That's a lot of WebSphere code using much of JTV and Java, and being able to extend that code with cloud-based solution, move that code into the public cloud, or burst that if it's needed from buying more on-premises resources, is very, very powerful. Because it protects investment of customers, uses the same skills. So very good approach, something finally IBM is looking at. And nothing surprising in the industry. Look at Microsoft App Stack or Azure Stack, which runs a replica of the cloud stack on premises. Look at Oracle always saying, hey, on premise and in the cloud is the same code line, it's the same capability. So there's obviously something good with IBM is offering that in the same way. So good to see that, and good progress on the IBM side. So there's very little things not to like. I think IBM is making genuine good progress, but it's a lot of things which have to happen, a lot of things which have to be achieved. So too early to say if it's not going to work. I wish all vendors luck with their endeavors in general. So same case here with IBM, because it creates value for customers and creates exciting times. So this is my event report for Interconnect, IBM Interconnect 2016. Many thanks for watching. See you soon. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.